want some, get some, bad enough, take some.
Hello, welcome to episode 94 of Fangin' and Bangin' with Gangrel, Nicky Blackheart, and Raymond over there in the corner. I made the unfortunate mistake of I had to get my oil service and changed and everything. Not my oil, but my truck oil. So I came here early today just to be traumatized and terrorized by Raymond. And now you. Now that you showed up, you picked up on the same subject he was jumping on me on, worried about the solar eclipse. Some boxer got molested in the woods and predicted the future, and some other crap. And he's trying. Raymond's like, you can't travel that day. You can't go anywhere. I go, I'll go on Australia. He goes, oh no, you got to stay in. He says, I'm treating it like a hurricane. I'm putting the batteries down. I'm staying in my house. All the evil energies. And I'm like, Raymond has lost it. Then you come in here talking the same stuff. Maybe I've lost it. Maybe I'm just so busy. You know. I don't know. Oh. I did figure out what was wrong with me. You know how I kept saying I keep hitting the wall? Yeah. This week I said I've been struggling. I don't know what's going on. I'm so tired and I'm about to give up and stuff. So this morning I randomly go in there and I'm up a little bit earlier because I had to get out earlier today and I'm taking all my vitamins. I don't pay attention and I go, why do I have two of the same vitamins? The bottles are the same as that color. So and then I took it this morning too, and I'm struggling too right now. I've been taking a super dosage of melatonin every morning, thinking I was taking dandelion, like a natural diuretic, but I've been taking the melatonin because the bottles look exactly the same, and somehow her bottles moved over to my side of the cabinet. I'm not blaming anybody, but somehow I was over there, and I've been taking melatonin for the last 4 days. And no wonder I'm like, I'll like 2 hours into my day, I'm like, ooh, what the hell's going on? I just can't. I'm so like dragging and mellow, super mellow. Yeah, and I couldn't get moving.
So if you ever feel depressed, just get a tan, go to the gym, and don't take melatonin for breakfast.
Right, but I think that melatonin's made me angry in class because I've been doing some screaming.
Well, I'm cranky when I'm sleepy and hungry. That makes total sense. I'm cranky because I want to go to sleep.
Struggling.
Oh my goodness.
Dummy self has been taking melatonin.
That makes sense.
So Raymond's. He's been happy. He's been putting his reels up and stuff. He says the Nugget Man one's been making some rounds. The whole, not the Florida Man, but the Nugget Man.
It went viral?
No, it didn't go viral or nothing like that. But I've seen people are commenting on that one more than the other ones. Like one girl said, well, I don't know so much about the Nugget thing, but when you gotta go, you gotta go. And I go, I concur, because I had that problem this morning, too.
Oh, my God.
I almost pulled the Nugget Man. I almost did the old Florida Man right out there in Highlandale over there.
Well, you travel a lot. Maybe you should keep, like, those, like, portable porta potties in your truck. It's, they're, like, this big.
No, but what I used to keep when I was a kid, when I was working construction, when I first started wrestling, I had a construction job. And you'd be out in the middle of nowhere, right? So, like, just nowhere, woods, because it was heavy equipment. We'd go in and clear the land and stuff, and then we'd put in the underground utilities, the water pipes and all that. So I worked for both companies actually at different times. And but what I learned to do was carry a 5-gallon bucket, cut the hole out, cut the bottom out of the bucket, and just boom, set the bucket down in the woods, sit on the bucket, pick up your bucket and leave when you're done. But I've lost a lot of socks, and I had uniforms then. We had to wear uniforms, so I ended up cutting the tail off the uniform for toilet paper all the time.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's in the woods. That's more of a Bigfoot thing,
Yeah, not out in the public in the middle of the highway.
No. And the problem with that guy is he was driving naked. It wasn't like he had an emergency. I mean, he was just...
Which it is illegal in Florida.
It is illegal now?
To drive with no shirt on? Apparently it is.
Oh, no shirt or no clothes, no pants?
I mean, he took it just...
Because I've been driving illegal a lot, because I'll drive with no shirt on all the time.
I think...
When I was younger.
I've seen that.
But I don't want to see me now with no shirt on. So I don't think I want to see me when I was younger with no shirt on. Are you looking it up now?
Is it illegal to drive without a shirt in Florida?
Well, if you're a girl, maybe. Your bat's out.
Let's see.
Well, definitely a girl. She's got to wear a shirt.
What the heck? I'm looking up in Florida, and this is like, is it illegal to not wear a shirt and mask? Like, what is Google playing with
see,
me?
It's something about those New Englanders, right? Like Rhode Island on that one.
So it says it's not illegal to drive barefoot.
Used to be.
It isn't illegal either for flip-flops. Headphones while driving is legal. And no laws that specifically prohibit topless driving for any gender. However, in some states, driving without a shirt may qualify as obscene or indecent exposure. So I guess there's no actual answer. Thank you, Google.
Before we move on, we're not convinced the world's going to end. You're okay with everything? Or should I stay home with the Raymond's advice? Should I not go to Australia?
Do we bunker down and, like, start getting ammunition and...
Yeah, I got some protection coming for you guys. Next week I'll give it to you.
I don't need any condoms. I'm married. Well,
It'll be a surprise next week.
Oh, gosh.
oh my goodness! You're not breaking
I'm
out.
not surprised,
You're not breaking
type
out
of
the
girl.
chicken feet and rooster blood and stuff like that, are you?
No.
You start throwing powder around and chanting, you know?
Oh,
No,
gosh.
I got you. Don't worry. I got you guys.
Well, I gotta travel.
It's a
I'm flying
power
that
bank.
day.
Especially when you don't get some
Power
extra
bank.
protection for him.
You know what I did buy after I saw the whole bridge situation was one of those things that you keep in your car to, like, cut out the seatbelt and bust the window open. That should be coming in the mail today.
That's if you survive the drop.
I mean, the way that happened, you definitely survived the drop. And, like, in Florida, it's, like, the Venice of the U.S.
So you survived the drop, but, like, granted, this is in Baltimore, so that water was, like, freezing. Like, so you get hit hypothermia pretty quick before you can... The water comes in on your body, locks up. It's a tough one. I don't know. There was, like, 8 or 6 workers. Pray for their families and stuff. There's not even a laughing matter on that. It's very scary. But Raymond's convinced some boxer predicted this bridge collapse. Alec, you said his name too. What was the name?
Ryan Garcia.
Ryan?
Yeah.
Sounds like something from one of the Vanderpumps or something. Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia.
Yeah. No, Raymond was talking about him too, and I'm going, I've never heard of him. I'm like so far behind in all your conspiracy stuff here. I feel left out.
Well,
I like sleeping at night. When I come home, I'm physically exhausted. The most time I get through is 5 minutes of Seinfeld, and then that's it, or something. You don't even watch the Seinfeld.
no, I don't watch it, but you've made me very aware of the show over the time that I've known you. You don't know who Seinfeld. I was like, listen, I'm just a little girl from the DR that has no idea what she's doing.
All right, so we better move on because
I got another Florida man segment for you.
Okay.
A Florida man was arrested for crashing a car into a mall and says he was trying to time travel. A car crashed into a mall on North Davis Highway in Pensacola, Florida. When cops questioned...
Wait a minute, does Pensacola even count as Florida?
It's like basically Alabama, right?
Yeah, it's like way over there, yeah. Might as well be like Mobile, Alabama or something. Might as well be Louisiana. It's way over there. Pensacola, it's like Georgia, Alabama. All right, go ahead.
He's already defending him. A car crashed into a mall on North Davis Highway in Pensacola, Florida. When cops questioned
Road Dogg lives in Pensacola.
an identified man driving a Dodge Challenger...
Wasn't Road Dogg, was it?
Huh?
Wasn't Road Dogg, was it?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, okay. No, the rest of Road Dogg, Brian James.
Oh,
No.
I thought you meant like a dog.
No, Keisha used to live in Pensacola, too. There's some Samoans in Pensacola still. Sika's still in Pensacola.
I feel like it's a party town, isn't it?
Oh, Pensacola Beach has a drink called the Bushwhackers. It's a
I've
good,
seen,
it's a
yeah.
sugary like drink, but I've done my share of partying on Pensacola
And
Beach.
they do this like yearly
There's
event.
a couple
the
strip
bikes,
clubs there too. There's
like the bike event that they do every year or something. That's why.
motorcycles or bicycles.
No, like motorcycles.
Motorcycles, yeah.
Yeah.
Poker runs and stuff like
Like
that.
ones, yeah. I do remember seeing that.
Well, you like to ride motor? You like to get on the back of a motorcycle?
Unfortunately, it's so unsafe.
Unfortunately, it's South Florida. It is, yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, anytime, this sounds like very morbid, but anytime that I've had someone that I know, a friend or like a friend's sibling or something that gets a momotorcycle, none of them are still with us. It's scary.
Well, it's also how you ride it, but it is.
And that's like
dangerous.
3 to 5 people that I know off the top of my head that I personally knew that aren't with us anymore. So I don't know. Anytime I see someone get a motorcycle, I'm like,
Loud
wow.
pipes save lives. You never seen my motorcycle, have you? Or heard it? Like,
No.
I got a '97 Softail Harley. Yeah.
Wait, you still have it?
Yes.
Why am I just finding out about this? Raymond, what the heck?
Raymond's seen it.
You have it at school?
Yeah, I used to have it at the other school. Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm left out.
Photo shoot with it.
Well, you never know if people actually own the things they take pictures with sometimes, you know?
I'm learning that they don't most of the time.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you own
You actually
them,
own your car, though. You took a picture with it.
Well, yeah. Okay, sorry. Let's get back on track. A car crashed into the mall on North Davis Highway in Pensacola, Florida. When cops questioned the unidentified man driving the Dodge Challenger, he said he was trying to time travel when the incident occurred. The vehicle sped through the traffic light at the intersection of North Davis Highway and West Fairfield Drive at approximately 10:50 a.m. and traveled through the front entrance of Advanced Tax Services. The car barreled through the center of the building, coming to a stop outside the double doors at the building's rear entrance. What's your opinion on that?
What'd they book him for?
Book him for?
What did they arrest him for, the police?
They took him to a mental facility.
So he got Baker acted.
Oh, so he wasn't drunk or nothing like that. He just crazy.
Could have been telling the truth.
Well, I mean, I think I honestly, I can't defend this guy, but I gotta say, but before you eat edibles or anything, you should not be watching Back to the Future, because he probably thought he was watching Back to the Future. He had to hit, what was it, 88? What was it? How many miles an hour he had to hit in the DeLorean to time travel before you hit the big clock downtown? You never seen Back to the Future? You've seen Back to the Future.
Yeah,
so
and
you
I
know
read the
Goosebumps
book version of it. I remember that was one of my favorite books, because like you would read and then it would tell you to go back and to page whatever to like go back in time, reread something, and then it would make you like, I forgot.
Oh, that sounds like too much work.
It used to be a Goosebumps book, but I remember like going back and forth, and like it's crazy because like going back and forth, it still told you the whole story, and I was like, that was a cool book.
These kids are crazy and into conspiracy theories. Goosebumps.
All the Goosebumps books. Yeah.
My grandkids.
I love those books. I read like every single one of them.
So what are we?
What's your opinion on this Florida man? Is he
opinion?
crazy? Are you defending him? Is he like cuckoo for the Cocoa Puffs?
I think he might be cuckoo for the Cocoa Puffs. He watched Back to the Future, thought he could time travel, but was he actually from Florida though, or was he just happened in Florida?
Good question.
I mean, you gotta dig a little deeper and all that stuff. I'm not defending Florida, man, but Pensacola's up there. There's all kinds of crap going on in Pensacola.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff up there.
It might even be any conspiracy things. There's probably Bigfoots running around up there and UFOs and
maybe. Well, we can move on to the fact or fiction. Is it true that the WWE
Hold on,
had
but when he was in the mall, did he
Huh?
when he time traveled in the mall, did he do any shopping, or he just rode right through the mall?
He just drove right through the mall and barreled.
And he wasn't drunk?
Apparently not. I mean, we don't have.
He got Baker acted, then he probably wasn't drinking. Oh, he could be on drugs, get Baker acted, but like, because he's crazy as hell. But
You guys ever try to play devil advocate? Like, put yourself in his shoes? What if you got, like, shot into the past or the future?
I mean, I've had some crazy dreams before.
Like
I wake up and I'm like, I mean, I guess when you have your intrusive thoughts and they win.
That would be a better movie.
What?
Than Bigfoot.
Intrusive thoughts? Time traveling?
You
I
guys
feel like there's a lot of.
like an alternate future or past. No.
like a Scooby Doo cartoon or something. Scooby Dooby Doo.
Or Hot Tub Time Travel, that movie.
Oh, when it goes back. I didn't see part 2, but I saw the first one.
I don't know. I think he's definitely more of a fan of Bigfoot.
Time travel. Where would we time travel back to? Like.
I don't want to go back.
What I'd be calling it, EO winch, you know, like what, the Middle Ages or what?
This Earth has been here billions of years.
Oh,
How
we're gonna
about the
be cavemen
medieval? No, the medieval times when people
medieval?
actually believed in vampires.
Yeah, but and they burned witches at the stake.
Yeah. Salem witch trials.
You start talking about your
conspiracy theories.
You know, or that horse braiding ghost.
Yeah, those were
What's
witches.
her name?
La Ciguapa.
La Ciguapa. Yeah. It might burn you.
Yeah, they used to have this thing where they would just like drown people, like the witches. The Salem witch trials.
They did a lot of horrible things. I don't know. There's a town. Was it Salem?
Yeah, Salem.
So I went there, and this is a true story. I didn't want to go there. I was just like, I was tired, and like Luna was dragging me there with some other girl. I don't know, they were doing some stuff, and
I've been wanting to go there.
And then it's supposed to be, there's like this one place with the handprint, you know, that says I'm gonna send my handprint to stay or whatever. So, but they're going in the store, and I go, I just threw a fit. I said, F this town, and blah 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 blah. It's full of crap, and shit, whatever. I was just throwing a fit because I was just tired. Been on the road. This was when we were WWE, so I was super tired. Probably wanted to go to the gym or something. I don't know, but other than run around this town for whatever. And I'm into that. I do like that kind of stuff, but I was just, and I do like shops with crystals and all that. I'm into all that stuff, but I was just really, really tired, and maybe the girl was just aggravating me. She was hanging out with or something bad. Maybe it was just, probably a bad influence or something, like, so I was just in a bad mood or whatever. So it wasn't really mad at the town, but I started cussing the town. This town's shit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I sit out there. I decided to sit outside in front of the store on a bench, It was a beautiful day. Out of nowhere, it just, the clouds rolled in black, and the wind, it felt like a hurricane blowing through, and hail started coming down. I couldn't get in. Got nearly beat to death with hail, everything, and I ran inside the store. They all looked at me like, you caused, they were looking at me like I brought that upon myself, like the whole town, because I cursed the town, and the town was raining holy hell on me or something.
Oh, gosh.
Like that. Yeah, it seems silliness when I'm trying to tell this story, but I guess you had to be there, but it spooked me out a little bit.
I mean, there's always myths and stuff like that, because in the Dominican Republic, when it's raining while the sun is out, it means that a witch is getting married.
That does it all the time here, though. So witches are getting married a lot here.
I guess.
I've literally been standing in a sun shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently that means that a witch is getting... That's what.
But I've also been here and stood on one side of the street and watched it rain on the other side of the street.
That too. Or when you're driving into the darkness and you look at your mirror and it's just all sunshine and blue skies. Yeah.
It's so weird. You're standing there watching it rain on the other
Florida
side of the street.
for you.
Yeah, I love it. All right, move on, kiddo.
Fact or fiction? Is it true that WWE had to hire extra security for you due to death threats you received from people claiming you were an actual vampire?
True.
Really?
Yeah, in Providence, Rhode Island area. Yeah, they had to have extra security. There was, I don't know who was calling in, but apparently people were upset that I exposed the vampire community and stuff like that, and that I was like a fake vampire. And yeah, true, very true.
What the heck?
Yeah, no, we'd go there and they would have to have. They would always complain that they had to have extra security because of me.
That's crazy.
It's a crazy world out there. I think we came in here one day and Raymond goes, there's really vampires. I'm pretty sure it was Raymond that said, was that you to me? Yeah, Raymond. And then I think he tried to accuse me of having no soul that same day. Because I was white, actually. Yeah. I had no soul, and they told me too much already, and this and this. And now that's why I'm a little hesitant when he comes in here and says, I have protection for you. I'm like, what? I don't know what this cat's up to, because he don't sleep at night, man. He's soulless himself, non-sleeping vampire is what he is over there. He's dressed like a vampire. He's the count of vampire.
Oh, he's got the boots, the vest. He's coming for you. Another fact or fiction. You wanted to be a race car driver at one point in your life.
Fact.
A preacher, a race car driver. What else?
Pretty much whiskey tango, white trash, baby. Yeah, no, you never seen my car? I put it up for a profile picture once, and I think people thought it was going to be my uncle or my dad or something. It was the numbers. It was a 0. It was a race car. Yeah, my first car was a '72 Monte Carlo, and that became my first race car too. So that was the first car I chopped up and it turned into. It was the only stock car I had, because I was 15 when I was building it. 16. I started 16. I got my license because I had a license. I thought I was 15, but I'm pretty sure I was 16 because you had to have a regular driver's license. I think you could start racing with a restricted license. I'm not sure, but I think I had my regular driver's license. I think I mix it up sometimes. I think I've said before I was 15, but I think I was 16, and because I was 17 when I started wrestling, so I had this car. I totaled it when I was 17 already, or just turning 17. I totaled it, crashed it into the wall, and it cost over $800 to have the frame repulled, and because I bent the frame and all this other stuff. So it was going to cost all this money, and my rent was due, and I was like, so I ended up paying my rent and then taking what was left over from, I sold the car, I sold the race car. I ended up paying my rent with it, and what was left over, I joined wrestling school. I became a professional wrestler.
Interesting.
So yes, true.
I didn't know that.
True.
But I didn't know you then when you made that your profile picture, because ever since I've like known you, I haven't seen that picture.
I was up for like a day or two about 3 weeks ago or so.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, or maybe even 2 weeks ago. I've been randomly just putting older pictures up. Like today, I put that one up of me and my old dog Kane, the pit bull. Yeah.
Kane.
Or people are ribbing me now, saying they should call, because I guess they're saying I look like Sid Vicious in a little bit, calling me Sid Delicious, and I don't know, because I'm wearing a vest. Sid Vicious wore a leather vest when he came to the ring.
No.
Back then they were, yeah.
Did your vision get better?
I had astigmatism.
I do have that.
Yeah, but I just dealt with it. I had glasses on this morning. You want to see that picture?
Sure.
I realized you couldn't cheat time.
I started wearing glasses.
I was trying to read something.
15 years old.
I was trying to read something, and I took a picture with glasses on. I was like, what the hell?
Bifocals.
Well, the readers, you know, the
readers.
Why you want to see?
No, because I saw this TikTok once, and it, it's like, you see all those videos about cultural appropriation and all that. And the lady that was like complaining about the cultural appropriation, there was a guy who's white. Oh, she's like,
can you say that 3 times fast?
What? Cultural appropriation?
Yeah.
That's one thing. But she's like, oh, white people shouldn't wear grills. And then he stitched the video wearing grills, and he's like, listen, you stinky thing, or something like that. She's like, you are wearing bifocals. That's some white people stuff. And no, I'll have to send you the video, but it reminded me of that.
He was just shaking his head over there. He's lost.
I'll have to show it to you.
I can't even say the word you said. What was that again?
Cultural appropriation.
Cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
Oh, cultural appropriation. Oh, it sounds, how does it sound then?
Yeah, no, it's...
I don't know what it means, but I don't know what it means.
That'll be a different episode.
I'm totally lost on what it means or anything, but it sounds cool, I guess.
And then the last fact or fiction: you were stranded in Africa and left for dead.
Yeah.
I feel like that was slightly dramatized.
I mean, the left for dead part could be up for op. I guess it's how you look at it. It might have felt like I was left for dead. Certainly, whenever I got home to the States, I thought I was dead. Like, 'cause whatever I picked up over there. Like,
malaria?
No, an unidentified assault on my intestines. What did they call it? I don't know what they called it. No food. I like so. It was me, a fella named who works at NXT now, Norman Smiley. He's a coach at the Performance Center at NXT, and another fella named Todd Passmore. Who, me and Todd, were a tag team called the Blackhearts. We did tours of Japan and stuff like that, but we weren't going over there. He was just wrestled as Barry Houston. He did like a cowboy gimmick. I was doing the vampire gimmick, and Norman was just Black Magic with Norman Smiley. And we flew to Senegal, Africa. So we get there. We're supposed to be there 3 weeks, and we get there. We land. No promoter, no ring. There's no nothing. Like, we end up getting to the hotel, and the promoter put a credit card down, so we weren't left for dead. He had a credit card down. There was a card down on the room, but we weren't sure how good it was. We were able to check in. We got in there, and then we just ordered room service all the time because nobody ever showed up, and we couldn't get our flights changed. And I think it was around the time that ferry sunk over there, where all the people died on the ferry. And but you couldn't get flights out. You couldn't get your stuff changed or anything. So we were there 3 weeks wondering if we were going to get kicked out every day out of the hotel and stuff, And we went out on, we would take adventures, right? Like, we kept asking, like, for a gym. There was no gym in the hotel. And it had a nice pool, like, it was on whatever ocean Africa's on over there. Like, the Atlantic, but the other side, Senegal, I don't know, whatever that was called. I don't know offhand. But it's very beautiful, and I guess that hotel itself was like a cheaper place for tourists to come. But there was when you pulled out of the hotel, you ever see Judge Dredd?
Judge.
Judge Dredd. Like, all right, so when they would be banned from the city and they would be casted out, you go out these gates and the gates would close, and it was like these dudes with these guys, machine guns. You can't come back, you know. So when you would leave this hotel, I'm sorry, it's so cold in here. When you leave the hotel, the gates are closed. You look back, you're like, what? Dudes would be there with like machine guns and stuff, and it was just like dry dirt, desert land, and with the taxi would be like. There was taxis. We got lucky to get a taxi, but the other option they called a taxi was like some kind of like I don't know. I'd call it the short bus here, the little small buses, but it would have like 100 people hanging out the windows on it, riding down the streets with no window, actual glass in the windows, and no doors on it or anything. But one day we actually got a taxi though to go in the city, an actual like taxi. So like and I kept asking for a gym, like, hey, and they kept going, oh, the gym's really private and exclusive here. You can't. This is Senegal. You have to be like a really rich member to go to the gym. I go, I'll pay. You know, I didn't really have any money. If I had money, I would have figured out how to get home. But I was, I was just trying. I just wanted to go to this gym, go to the gym. And so I was on about that for like a couple of days. We were there 3 weeks, so a couple of days in, I was still on about this gym. So we get in a taxi, and I asked the taxi guy, "Is there a gym?" And he said the same thing. No, the gym's very elite. Blah 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 blah. Yada yada yada. You know, another Seinfeld thing. Yada yada yada. But one day I'll turn you on the Seinfeld. You'll watch it. You'll like it. You will like it because I know your sense of humor. You'll like it.
My dry sense of humor.
So it's a very dry show. It's funny though. So we're riding down the thing, and then the taxi driver goes, "Oh, there's the gym." And I'm like, where? I'm looking. It's just a cliff, like a sand, It's just sand, And I see a guy kicking a soccer ball, And I go, I go, where? He goes, right there. And then when we're passing it, and I literally saw like this rickety ass piece of wood, right? With like, it looked like sticks up and buckets of sand, and a guy lifting weights. And he goes, I go, that's the gym? Like, and it was clearly like a bamboo, like the dude was pinching buckets of sand and stuff, And he goes, yeah, you got to be very exclusive. It was just like, yeah, there was no gym. Well, I guess to them it was. It was a strip of sand with buckets of sand and
I've seen that.
And I'm like, oh wow, like so. This is it. That's the gym. So I'm not missing anything. No, at least I could do sit-ups and push-ups at the pool. The hotel was way nicer than that. But we get into town and. Walking around, and I'm not gonna say which one the wrestlers wanted weed, but it wasn't me because I don't smoke weed, you know that. And I should try one day; it might help me. But for now, in this chapter of my life, I don't. And we go walking all over, and then we walk into this odd place. They go, oh, it's over there. We go in, we open the door, and all the sewing machines stop. It's like 5-year-old kids sewing. It was a sweatshop, and I'm surprised we got out of there alive. The lady were gonna kill us there. The guy standing over them all, like well, we walked into a sweatshop. They're probably making stuff we were wearing on our feet right now. I mean, you want to be honest, it's probably what was going on. I mean, the world's really twisted and messed up. The court, you guys in that box are clearly got it figured out. Ships are hitting bridges and shit's going down on the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse and all this other stuff. So the world's not a friendly place in a lot of places. So we get out of there and then we decide we're going to go to a restaurant in town. And we sit down in there and I go to the restroom and I happen to look over the kitchen and I just see chicken laying all over the floor like chicken. Just not live chickens, but the dead chickens they're gonna serve you to eat, laying on the floor like flies. I'm like, oh, I'm not eating here, man. I'm going back to the hotel. So I didn't eat anything and I didn't drink anything out. I only drank out of a bottle, a soda, and I only ate in the hotel, which was actually nice. The hotel was actually nice, and we were there 3 weeks. 3 weeks, I'm fine. The guy Barry Houston knows what this time somehow converted over to another religion in this 3 weeks because he figured we weren't going home. He was wearing he looked like Denzel when he wears his little white hat, what do you call that? What do you call that, Raymond? Well, not really, but like a Quran,
Muslim?
Yeah, he was just
Okay.
Muslim, and he was he had the Quran
Gotcha.
already. He was reading the Quran and everything. Yeah, he was like he was trying to date one of the ladies over there. Like he, I don't know if he didn't think we were going home, if he just lost his mind in his 3 weeks, or what was going on. And he wasn't the one smoking the weed either. And like, so but what was cool was before I go back to the hotel and everything, we did go to the event where the wrestling was supposed to be. It was a big reggae concert. The reggae concert was great. But they had wrestling, but they had Senegalese wrestling. And they said, oh, we were supposed to do a joint promotion. And that promoter was there. And he was like, oh, you can join these guys. And I'm like, oh, hell no. If you would have saw what they were doing, I'm going, no. They were like, it was like a very a tribal-like style of dance ceremony type of thing. And they would wrestle, but it was dirt circle or rocks that lined the circle. And it was a bit like Greco-Roman meets sumo or something, you know. If you had to get thrown in that circle or something. So they would dance, and then they would engage. You know, like they go, oh, you're welcome to join. I'm going,
That
hell
sounds like
no.
a mosh pit.
Well, it was reggae, so it wasn't violent. Like, well, the wrestling was sort of violent, but it was more like a tribal dance, like a battle art dance, and then they would try to throw somebody's back to the ground. But it was cool, but I was like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna keep my really light-skinned ass up here. You know, try to get back to my hotel and survive this country because I don't belong over here. I'm lost and out of my touch. So I'll go back to the restaurant. I didn't eat anything. I was back at the hotel and just only drank like Diet Coke or something out of a bottle because they said definitely don't ice or anything like that. And eventually our date came where we would go home, so we were terrified to check out, like, so we snuck out. We just left because we weren't sure how long that card covered or what, because the promoter never showed up. Like, and we ordered room service every day for 3 weeks. like, so what were we gonna do, right? You know, and I think the promoter was Desmond. I don't know if he's still alive or not, Desmond Granado, but he was out of Jamaica, Queens, out of New York there. But he's a good guy. He just didn't show up. I don't know what happened. And then. So we go home, and I'm like, you know, I didn't eat a whole lot over there or anything, so I'm thinking like, I'm so good, happy to be home. And it was like a buffet place. I think was it a Golden Corral? I think it might have been a Golden Corral or something. So I go in there and I tune that place up. I'm like, wow, 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 wow. I'm just glad to be home. I ate. There was a Publix in the parking lot. It was over off Davie Road here in Florida. Like, so another Florida man incident. So Florida man destroys Publix bathroom. But yeah. So I go in this Golden Corral and I'm like happy to be eating food. And I leave and I get like to the car, which was in between the Publix and the Golden Corral. And I was like, oh, I'm like, what the flip is going on here? And my stomach going roll,
Bubbling,
like, not even bubbling. It was like I can only picture like a volcano and lava, like it's like I can feel it like tide shifting, like, you know, like what this solar eclipse is gonna do on Monday. You know, I'm like and I look at the restaurant. I go, I can't go back in the restaurant, like, you know. So I run to the Publix, and I mean I'm scooting it. I'm boot scooting boogie into the Publix, and thank goodness the restrooms are in the front of the place, but. No, not anybody really wants to hear all this, but I get in there and it's all total apocalypse. It's just like it's just apocalyptic. It's and you know, and I was so embarrassed because I could hear people come in and go, whoa, and they just leave right back out. They wouldn't even get a foot in the door. They'd go, oh, and they would leave. And I'm like, oh man, I was so embarrassed. And you know, I was in there for a while doing what I had to do, but I stayed another like half hour. Because I was embarrassed to come out, you know. I was like, oh, man, I don't know who came in and said, oh, because there was a few people, and it was really, really bad. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? And I thought maybe, I said, okay, well, you know, I'm like a believer in signs and stuff like that. So I said maybe that was just gluttony and some kind of sinful thing, and I was punished for it, you know. I learned my lesson. So I go home and thinking this is done, and then, you know, it turns out it wasn't done. Like, if I drank water, if I ate one thing, anything I ate, I couldn't. It felt like I twisted inside. Like, you could, like, it felt like, you ever heard, like, movie. You ever see movies where the pipes rattle like? That's what was going on, and this went on. I dropped 50 pounds, almost 50 pounds in like 2 weeks, a week and a half. I was in and out of the hospital. Like they would say, "We don't know what's wrong with you, man." They would just give me, IVs and IVs, antibiotics, different, like types of penicillin or whatever. I think the first one they gave me was Cipro, and that didn't work. And then I went through all in like a month period, like about a month. I went through all of them, and they were like, they said we just don't know. We don't know what you gotten into. We have no idea. And in my head, I was thinking, great. All the times that I should have took shots before I went to another country, I didn't take any shots because they give you all these shot warnings. You need to take your shots. I'm like, who needs those shots? The damn government trying to like load me up with stuff. So, so I didn't know. I was convinced, maybe this is the end because I dropped like 50, 60 pounds. I was like, I had to push my bed. Like if I drank water, it was a horrible, horrible experience. And like if it was just water, I couldn't even stay hydrated. Water would like just kill me. And I went back again to the hospital, and they went full circle, and they tried Cipro again, and then I was fine. I was fine. They tried it. The very first one they started with, they came back to again, and I went back to that, and whatever. They just guessed it to be like some kind of bacteria or coli or whatever you call it. But they said they don't know. Ever since then, I'm scared to eat, or if I have to go to the restroom or something, like I used to be embarrassed about it. I'm like, hey man, you gotta let me in. Like Raymond today, I was like, hey man. So I sympathize with the Florida man, like in the car. I'm not defending him, but I sympathize if that's what was going on. I don't understand why he was naked. Still to this day, naked, but maybe he shit all over himself. He had the experience I had. I don't know. but Africa. So yeah, I was left. I didn't left to die. I was sent back home to die after being left in Africa. They said, okay, we got you. Send him back home now so he could die on his own land.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so it's true. I think all of them were true, right? Race car driver, right?
Yeah,
Check.
all of them were a
Check.
fact.
Fact. And what was the first one?
That if you needed to hire security for vampire.
Oh, yeah, true. That was trippy, though. That was really trippy. But, like Undertaker and different things, it wasn't normal for like a young female like you to send a vial of their blood or something, and some stuff like that. Because you're a vampire. I can see it in your eyes. You're very dark. Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't know.
You don't know. You do know. There's a darkness lurking upon you, and all your conspiracy
it's called
theories.
Trauma.
Well, yeah.
Okay, now we're moving on to some wrestling.
We got
we'll try to speed through these.
No, we got time.
So Ronda Rousey recently released a book titled Our Fight, a memoir. Yeah. In the book, she came down hard on her time with WWE. She used the harsh words for former CEO Vince McMahon and former head of talent relations John. I cannot say his last name. Laurinaitis. Okay.
Or other people call him Laurinaitis, but John Laurinaitis.
And former head of talent relations John Laurinaitis.
Just call him Johnny Ace.
Johnny Ace? Okay.
Johnny Ace. That was his
That's so much
name. Johnny
easier.
Ace. Well, I don't even know if the rest of the world, the young world, would even know him as Johnny Ace. But you know that thing you might have hurt your butt on when you did it the wrong way, the cutter? Mm-hmm. It was his finisher. It was the Ace Crusher, it was called.
Nice.
Yeah, it used to be called the Ace Crusher in Japan.
I actually have heard of the
Ace Crusher. Yeah, that was Johnny Ace. Yeah.
Because some people call that different stuff. Cutter. Mm-hmm. Nice. Ronda states, the only thing that really held me back was the number of words I was allowed to have in this book. We are contractually held to 9,000 words, and I was going to talk so much more shit, especially after Johnny Ace and Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah.
She also called WWE a shit show and stated that she'll never return to the company. And question for you is, were you a fan of Ronda's run with the WWE? Some would compare her attitude to that of Luna's.
Well, I don't think I ever heard Luna call it a shit show. WWE, she actually loved it and defended it to her last breath. She would defend. Even though she knew that she would call him Caesar, Vince McMahon, she would refer to him as like Caesar sometimes. She would. and knew that he was wrong about everything, she still would defend professional wrestling. That was her first love, not MMA. Ronda Rousey's was judo and then MMA, right? And then professional wrestling. Unlike Luna could endure the road 300-something days a year and then some, and still make the gym and still make the towns and do this and this and that, where I don't think Ronda could endure that schedule. MMA people fight 3 times a year. They train for one fight, you know, and then they take time off, you know. I'm not disagreeing whether that's a shit show, and I think there's some things not brought up in there that probably worded by her is that it was very misogynistic or very against women getting ahead, and also casting couches might have been mentioned, saying it was the high executives, people at high powerful positions. You know, there's casting couch influence for TV time. Would I agree with her? Luna would say that. Yes, Luna would say that. Luna would say 100%. That's what it came down to a lot of times there. But Luna would defend professional wrestling, where I think Ronda Rousey's from a different background, and she's not going to defend professional wrestling. Luna would state some facts and spit some facts, and they're very similar to their upfront attitudes and stuff. But Luna would always defend professional wrestling because it was her first love and passion, and that's what she loved and she died for, where Ronda Rousey does it. So some people could look at it on the outside and just say, like, even as far as people like Brock Lesnar only wrestle so much, or, you know, Kenny Shamrock himself told me one time, he was a former, you know, UFC's in UFC Hall of Fame, right? MMA and all that. It was much easier to just fight and train for the fight than to wrestle the 300-something days a year, make all the towns, still try to eat proper, still try to make it to the gym, still party like a fucking rock star, and still do all your press conferences, and when there's pay-per-views and there's TV every week, 2 TVs, you still had to look good on TV, not just be a fighting weight, but you had to look a beauty weight, you know. You don't want to be bloated, so you're like living on Lasix, you're doing that. It is a vicious cycle, and it is not made for everybody. That's why I put a post up. Obviously, saw the post with Ray Lewis, one of my favorite. Boom! I wasn't a big Baltimore fan. Now Baltimore keeps coming up, but he's a Raven. But the University of Miami, Ray Lewis. I don't think anybody could outwork Ray Lewis, but he's at a 1%. You know, takes a 1%. What is in that 1% to get you from sitting with the fans, you know, the fans watching you, you know, and it takes something special to be a professional wrestler. I mean, people could knock it, they could call it a shit show, they could call it a circus, a carnival. People that have been there and done it and left, they can hate on it, but if they did it and they made it, there's something special about them to being able to endure that vicious cycle of professional wrestling, to be on top, to be with a company like WWE, not AEW, which I'm not taking anything from, but WWE tours. You know, when I was there, I would work 4 or 5 days with them, and I still did. They'd send me off on third-party stuff, so which would be signings, or I'd go work other independent shows and stuff. They would pimp you out for a price. I'd get paid well, and they'd get a cut. So I was working seven days a week, you know, sometimes 3-4 weeks straight or 3 months straight. Luna would go on the road. I had to live in at Jetport Airport, Holiday Inn in Newark, just to see her, because she would go to Israel for 2 weeks or some kind of overseas tour, come back and be on the road there. And Newark was like more a closer hub. So if I wanted to see her, I had to go there. That's how I ended up going to office school to learn. I said, I'll just go here because I'll be able to see her more and I'll just train. But then I ended up running the school. That's why I was up there in that area. That was one of the other reasons, was just to see her. That's how cruel and grinding that schedule was. So is Ronda Rousey wrong? No. About a lot of things, no. It is what it is. It's always been. It's unfortunate. It's misfortune. However you want to word it, it's not good. It's not. You know. But also, I don't know if the schedule was for her. But the difference, like Luna, would be straightforward and everything. But the difference is Luna would defend professional wrestling to her last breath, where Ronda didn't come from a background of professional wrestling. She was a judo, you know, mixed martial artist and stuff like that, and had a tremendous run.
We'll get to that in just a second. There's another question. So Becky Lynch had some comments of her own pertaining to Ronda Rousey's run with WWE. She stated that Ronda Rousey couldn't wrestle when she made her way to WWE. Lynch suggested that Rousey was giving special treatment and not giving sufficient time to develop her wrestling craft before being pushed into the spotlight. So question for you is, with you experiencing training former UFC fighter Paige Valzant to compete in AEW, can you discuss some of the challenges of training an MMA fighter transitioning into pro wrestling?
Well, I think they're two different horses and carriages there, you know. Paige, I don't know where she is. So like, she trained for the one thing, did it, and then I haven't seen her. She came back one day and not gone. So what can I say? I could say Paige had talent. When Paige was there, she worked hard, but I haven't seen her. But could I speak upon Ronda's wrestling? I don't think Ronda did bad for being shot into that spotlight that fast without what I had, and what a lot of people put the Attitude Era up as like, oh, one of the greatest eras. Like you hear them, the Attitude Era, Attitude Era, this, that. And then they also, I've heard people go, because The Rock is back, right? And I caught the end of Raw. I actually was able to watch the end of Raw where Rock, it broke down, the Usos came out, whatever, Seth or whatever, boom, they go to the back, and then bam, The Rock's on old Cody Rhodes or whatever. Then they get a little sound, got a little blood, boom, Cody's bleeding. It's not PG, right? Like there's blood now, you know, and he's beating him up, and it's what it's like to be the boss or the final boss or whatever. Boom, 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 boom. So it kind of had a Raw feel, a raw thing.
I mean, even his promo was not PG.
So Raw had a vibe like that. But what people don't realize about Raw, you know, you can do a vibe all you want, but what they didn't realize about the Attitude Era is 60-70% of the wrestlers in the Attitude Era, it came from the territories still. So they wrestled every night of the week in different territories with different people every night, learned how to tell the story. They understood wrestling. They knew how to wrestle. They knew how to get one look across like an eyebrow. You know, like one thing, you know, they knew how to make moments and create moments. And on top of that, throw the Attitude, which was the Attitude Era, throw that Attitude in there on top of guys that can actually wrestle and have worldly experience wrestling in territories and wrestled 360 days a year, you know, year round, you know, for a living. It's what made it super special, and that's why it can't be recreated. That's why it can try all you want, but it's not going to be recreated because you can't find the people with that amount of experience, because they went and got people through the late 80s, through the 90s, as they closed down all the territories, and they brought them into WWF at the time, which became WWE, and then a lot of them were still there as it evolved into the Attitude Era or became agents, you know. So much wisdom, experience, and worldly wisdom there of the craft and doing it. It's really hard to create it and then throw a really badass attitude on top of it, you know, chip on your shoulder. Let's like beat each other in the heads harder than anybody else can with chairs and out top each other. They were competing with other companies. They were competing with each other within the company. And so it's hard to be creative, but Ronda Rousey, I think, did a good job for being thrown into it so quick without having a lifetime experience or having even 3 years of experience or 2 years experience. She had a month of training here, 2 weeks of training there, put a ring in her backyard. I know that she had one there because I know somebody that actually got paid to go take it down when she left there. Like, go pick the ring up, was part of the ring crew that picked it up. So I noticed she had a ring out in California training, but I think she did all right. And I have nothing against Ronda Rousey. I'm actually a Ronda Rousey fan. Felt bad for her. I liked when she talked smack. I liked the chip on her shoulder, and I enjoyed watching armbar somebody out and stuff. You know, that's me. And I know a lot of the wrestling fans didn't like her, but it's just whatever. Teach their own. Everybody, you know, like certain boxers, you're like certain MMA fighters, you like certain wrestlers. That's what life is. It's a variety of choice. You get, you know, you choose who you like. Raymond clearly has no good taste in music, and I like everything, you know. So we deal with that every day. But you know, go cry. But did I get lost from the question, or did I cover it?
No, you covered it.
Oh, okay, all right. Because I ramble because I have so many thoughts about it. Because I do like Ronda, I do, and I hear people hate on her, but I also think, you know, don't totally shit on wrestling, because it could be part of it. That was a really hard schedule. You just didn't. That schedule is really hard to keep too, you know, and you don't really. If you didn't love it, then don't mess with it. I'm sorry, I cuss way too much on here, and I'm going to get cut off the YouTube or whatever. But don't come to it if you don't love it. Like I tell everybody in training, if you don't love this, don't be here. Don't waste my time if you don't love wrestling. There is no. And I know you get tired of hearing about the journey is the jewel. There's no jewel at the end of the rainbow. But if you don't love it, then don't do it, because it's not going to be worth it at the end, because you're just going to end up with sour apples. You know, you're just going to be like, well, blah 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 blah. You know. But if you loved it, you're going to be like, you're going to defend it and keep motoring on, and whatever. And that's what Luna loved it. So I couldn't compare the two of them on that. I couldn't, I won't. Like, not on that, but I'm not knocking Ronda, because I actually like her. And I think she's cool. So, but that's me, and that's my choice. People may not like that I said that, but I do. But I also think that there's a lot of, she couldn't deal with that schedule, and a lot of the MMA
but
guys
she also
knowing
had
them.
kids.
Well, like I was saying, I don't know if I even finished it. Kenny would say it was easier to do that, the 300, all the wrestling all the time, because you get hurt, right? So MMA, you're hurt, the fight's off. Or you train through it and you have the one fight and you have time off. Wrestling, you're sciatic. Let's take you for an example. You're on the road 7 nights a week, you have this problem. Yo, Nikki Blackheart, you're up. Oh, my sciatic hurts. I don't give a shit. Are you working tonight or not? Because we got 2 other people waiting to take your spot. Mm-hmm. Or they won't say that, but you know that. You're going to give it up? No, you're going to work through that. Now, if you're an MMA fighter, you're going to cancel the fight. Oh, I might lose. I got an injury. It's going to hinder me from performing at my top, and I might lose at my record, blah, blah, blah. You're out. Wrestling, you're not out. Get your ass out there. You got diarrhea? Oh, you went to Africa and they sent you back to die in the States? No, get out there. You get this, get out there. Oh, I got to get out there. Now, it's different now. They protect that talent a lot more now. I mean, there are some injuries like, oh, you really kidding me that they got time off? They're a little bit more protected, but when we were there, it was like, no, you just took some Imodium and sucked it up. You had a cold, get some Jack Daniels with honey, sip on that, get out there and motor on, you know.
Yeah. So next topic is the WWE new relationship policy.
The what?
I guess that's like fraternization or whatever that thing is.
So, I just didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, like relationship policy.
Oh, relationship.
So they informed its employees that possible negative consequences of romantic relationships in its workplace shortly before former WWE Executive Chair Vince McMahon's sex trafficking lawsuit was filed. The new policy informs employees that romantic, intimate, or sexual relationship in the workplace can create potential for abuse or authority or cause problems due to perceptions of favoritism by others. If employees do choose to enter a consensual relationship with another employee or any independent contractor, they are told to report it to Human Resources and cooperate in actions taken to address any conflict of interest. Some of those actions include transferring one of the individuals to another position, transferring supervisory decision-making or advisory responsibilities, or providing an additional layer of oversight to supervisory role. Question for you, there's 2. With your experience being in a relationship with Luna during your WWF run, what's your thoughts on this new policy? That was a mouthful.
So it's clearly new because you have Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins that are together, right? Mm-hmm. So, and multiple other people throughout the time, and multiple marriages ruined and recreated new marriages. I don't know. I think that's a tough one because with WWE, the travel schedule, they're on the road more than they're at home. And it's like anywhere, like office romances, if they're at work 40 hours a week and they go home just to sleep, if you're in the office 40-hour week, you go to the gym, you do your grocery shopping, you go home, you collapse, you back up to work again. But you're working side by side somebody that 40 hours a week, or if you're on the road traveling, and you have problems at home, so you're traveling and your wife's upset. You're always gone, you're not spending time with the kid, whatever, so so, tensions are high, you're feeling like the villain, or you're made to feel like a villain. Maybe there's a girl on the road that has a husband and it's the same thing, and you're talking and yada yada yada. Later, next thing you know, you have a weakness of moments and you're in some kind of relationship, and then having or you're single and you just wrestling's your life and that's who you're always around, and it's a tough one. I don't think it's gonna work out so well. My opinion is that I don't think it's gonna work. I don't I wouldn't encourage, dating anybody in wrestling. I wouldn't encourage it at all. Like, it's a tough one, but I also, on the other hand, Susan's probably the only one I've ever been with that's not been in wrestling. But I trained her daughter to wrestle, so still linked in there somehow, a little tiny bit, but not technically not. So, and I don't know what's easier, like. Because she's very understanding. She doesn't bother me or anything like that. There's a lot of trust, but like, so it's easy. But I've seen other people's wives make it really hard, or I've seen Luna make it really hard on me. And I'm like, you're out there, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm in my room, I swear. And I would be. But then I'd want to go out because I was getting accused all the time, So it's tough, man. And it's because she was a wrestler. She knew what she was doing, and she knows how it is on the road. So I think they're 80% bound to fail, these relationships. So I would try to discourage dating, and workplace relationships. I don't know about reporting it to human resource, but that's just they're a publicly traded company now, I guess, and it's not like the mom and pop, like, you know, Vince McMahon owns it, blah blah blah. You know, hey, shame on you two, straighten it out. You know what I mean? A lot of repercussions now, especially the former head of the company is, like you said, has sex trafficking charges opposed against them. I think they're just covering their ass in this PC world, and it is what it is. But it's kind of hard not to date, though, when you're on the road with somebody all the time, and you're relating to the same things, and you got the same things going on, and it's really hard not to. And so it's a tough one to really put an opinion on. Again, I like in the training center when we're at the school when you got, you hear me say it all the time. I discourage it. I don't encourage it at all. To date each other, because look what happens. You've seen it already. Like, there are people get these emotions, and then it affects them, or they don't want to. All of a sudden, their dream is not their dream anymore, and like, oh, I can't be there. My heart's broken, and it's just, or they get vindictive with each other, or they make the whole rest of everybody else uncomfortable around you when they're all there. So, and it's no different than when you're on the road all the time, and place when you're making money. Money doesn't change happiness, you know. No. So if it's a shit show in that sense,
it'll just feel it. Yeah,
everybody feels it, and you make everybody uncomfortable.
Yeah, I've seen that. A majority of wrestlers are in relationships with other wrestlers in the same company. Do you think it's realistic to limit this type of interaction? I think you already answered that in a way.
It's already going on. You got to ride it out. Like, you know, I mean, you can't say, hey, you can't be in love with her no more. Or upset, or in fact, whatever you want to call it, or whatever it is, puppy love, actual love, or even strong likes, you know, or lust, you know. It's a tough one. Maybe as they sign people now, they could say, hey, there's no fraternizing, but it looks really hard when you got, you know, a couple with their own bus, and you know, and this and that. You're like, well, they could do it. Why can't I do it? Because they're a top or something. But no, because the rules changed, you know. But it's good luck with that one. Good luck with all that. You can't tell people who they can and can't date. You could not hire them, but I guess you could put it in your policy and fire them. But that's a tough one. That's a really tough one.
Yeah, I saw that happen with the Panthers too. Like, whenever I was working there, we weren't allowed to talk to any of the players because in the past there had been like allegations that someone took advantage of another person. But then there were still girls that ended up like marrying players, and they're still together to this day. You know?
Wow.
So
you do have French Canadian in your family. That's a very hockey.
What was that?
You have some French Canadian in you, so that's it.
Well, my older brother actually played hockey for years. I remember him and his now wife. Yeah, I remember we went ice skating in Canada, and she put on the hockey skates. And
I think it's the same thing with the. I trained a girl to wrestle. Her name's Danielle. Like, she was in NXT for a while, but she dated she was a Cardinals cheerleader, and she would date the football players, but I don't think they were supposed to. Like, she had a couple. No, she dated. We literally signed contracts. Long-term, serious relationships, but I don't think that they were supposed to do that. You know.
No, we had to sign like a non-fraternization.
You see what makes a problem, because you're you know, you're there, you're mad, you're talking crap, you know, or feelings are hurt, and people can't concentrate on it. There's a lot of money being paid to players to perform, and then the girls are getting to do their thing. It's just it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, they always try to get us in trouble because some of these guys will reach out to us, and I'm like, listen, get out of my DMs. I'm gonna get fired. So we're going over some questions or comments from previous videos. Raven -HQ says Gangrel could rock the shit. See, they're making me cuss. Gangrel could rock the out of a vampire role in a Lost Boys sequel. Why hasn't that happened yet? Old school leather jacket, pull-it shirt, Gangrel laughing and carrying that goblet. That would be some money I'd be happy to spend. Even if it was corny like the last two, they've made it would be less corny just because Gangrel was in it. Well, English, sir. Holy crap. The way that he spelled it.
I understood you, dude.
Yeah, I tried to make it more understandable.
But I can't rock crap until I lose 30 or 40 pounds. Like, you got to go on one of those celebrity diets, like when you got a role coming or something, because they're not always like that. I don't think they're always that lean, but they get lean because that camera, like, this is one thing, but when you, for whatever reason, when you that's why I'm so terrified to go to this premiere, because it's just gonna look heavy, you know, like. I was probably 260 when we filmed the After Dark, which is going to go to on the 29th of April for the premiere in the Palms in Las Vegas. You just look so heavy at that weight on camera. You know, you'd have to be like 200 or 190 to look buff. You know, like it. Yeah. So to do the Lost Boys, thank you. That'd be awesome, and I would love to be in the Lost Boys thing. That'd be great, or even a Blade. Triple H could do it. He didn't even look good. Triple H is in shape, but he didn't look good because he was so thick, you know, heavier. That it just looked kind of weird. You know, you really got to be lean to do like Hollywood movies.
It's an illusion,
I think, you know?
yeah. It's an illusion.
But thank you, yeah, thank you.
Watson7496 says the episode of Cougar Town with you in it is hilarious. Ryan Tiller responded, "What?" And then Watson said, "He's in an episode of Cougar Town," and Raymond sent me the episode.
And another example of not being heavy. I was 305 pounds in that Cougar Town scene.
Oh, Coach sent me this before.
So 305. I looked like one big yellow banana. Yellow tights that don't fit. Like they were measured wrong. And who are you watching?
Yeah, you sent it to me too.
Yeah, I think I showed it to you.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you see this fella here? That's Boo Boo Stewart. He's one of the kids, one of the Wolves from Twilights. That, you know, he came out to watch me. They all came out when I was in LA and wrestled the last team.
Big Daddy Pain.
See, I'm 305 here. Big Daddy Pain. BDP, they call me. BDP. Some people still call me BDP.
Big Daddy Pain. Don't you understand? BDP. And this money, I'm
nice
gonna kick your ass.
See how big I am? Some bad hair that day too.
Where was it filmed?
In I don't know, like Burbank or somewhere over there. One of those studios. LA area, California. One of the lots. They're all nice guys, but I choreographed this like whole thing. The other guy got credit for it.
That's hard, but it's one guy. It's still his get half.
But this is a really good example of why you need to be lean in Hollywood. You know what I mean? Or like jacked to the gills with muscle. You cannot be 305 full of Stella.
That Big Daddy Pain? He once signed my boobs in an auto show.
I saw a lot of baseballs when I was a kid. Usually, my mom went home with the winner.
Yeah, no, she's really nice.
That's not what I mean. Somebody went to Oswald.
Did you do this? I just wanted to give you an awesome graduation present. I'm so sorry.
Sorry for what?
He's a cool dude too, whatever his name is.
Yes!
I don't know their name.
Got to see my dad take a chair to Captain Carnage's face!
Yeah, so.
This is your most impressive gift yet.
Huh. What? I gotta get back in there, son. Happy graduation!
Yeah. Yeah, you can't be heavy in Hollywood. That's for sure. See the trunk sliding down, belly hanging out. That was like the dark times of my life. It was right before not too long before I came back here. I was 305 pounds. I was over 300. And I was drinking every night, partying. It was a bad thing, but that was a good opportunity. But like you got to be ready all the time. So I mean, now I'm floating 250. So that's what 55 pounds. I'm 55 pounds heavier there, and you see a difference. You get
That's crazy.
Yeah. But it was fun. Cougar Town. I think it was called Love is a Long Road or something like that.
Yeah.
Love is a Long Road. So yeah, check it out. But please don't judge me. I look like a big hair bear banana. Bunch of hair, yellow. But the thing is, they had somebody actually measure you for these tights, and they were like nowhere in the ballpark, as you can see that they didn't fit. You know, like. We'll talk about ass sagging in the pants there and the belly hanging out.
Yeah, I can't even see
well,
it.
thanks for this nightmare, Raymond, or whoever cute. Raymond sent that to you?
He did.
Or,
It's a funny clip.
Well, that's all I have.
I mean, it's my only claim to fame, I guess. I mean, I've done a lot of little things. Human Centipede 3. You ever seen that?
I unfortunately had boys in high school that thought it was hilarious to show clips.
So
of
that
what it
one
was.
too. That was another one that I was 300 pounds in, and my stomach was really. I
am not gonna Google Gangrel and Human Centipede 3.
I had what did I have? I was a patient. I was in prison. I was a prisoner.
You weren't part of the train.
Yeah, I was, but I was a prisoner. So
I don't like this.
So I was a prisoner, but I had diverticulitis or whatever. So I was in a prison hospital. So they were gonna sew Rob Terry, that one actor, his mouth to my ass because I had shitting problems. Whatever. It was a twisted. I guess a whole new meaning, ass to mouth. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Well, that was the last part of the segment. On that note,
that's probably the last part of this whole episode of Faking and Faking with Gangrel. Oh my! You can't picture that at all.
I don't want to, and I'm trying to delete whatever.
So picture that big hair bear banana.
No. I already can't sleep.
See the video of P. Diddy touching Gangrel?
What?
I'll send it to you.
Where?
Don't look at it. You can never get it back.
Where?
Because remember when I had a
I
dream,
don't see
P. Diddy
it.
touched me in my and all that.
Oh, I thought you meant like an actual.
No, it is.
Nah.
Oh God.
All right. So I'm gonna have to relook at this video when I get off here too, because I was in the middle of something when he sent it to me. Now I got to relook at it because I didn't see me in the video. Well, I was in the video.
Yeah, P. Diddy ran.
You had P. Diddy. You put a monkey. It was like that was so bad on your end. All right, I'm out of here. That was.
Did I miss something?
I think we both did. We're gonna have to, when we get off the air right now, we're gonna go back and revisit that.
Guys, pray for me, please. Please.
So, thank you for joining us for episode 94, Faggot Day with Gangrel, Nikki Blackheart, and Raymond in the corner over there, Shady Ray. All right, peace out. Want some? Bad enough.
Take some. Oh God, I'm traumatized.
Yeah, he sent it to you.